So, this is the format I'm going to be doing these videos in now. So, my first one was just the live recording of the PUG. So, now I have the live recording. I'm going to watch it back and I'm going to teach you guys how to play BM Hunter while on top of, try to be the best person in the PUG. You know what I'm saying? Now, performance wise, just, overall rounded out. So, let's get it started. This is a plus 11 workshop from about 3 weeks ago. Keep in mind, I don't have any corruptions, and I'm gonna be talking in the background, like in a past tense. My buddy Michael was there as well. But the problem is right here. So look how far ahead the DK is right now. I think he had engineering boots, but this week is bolstering and explosive. It's not fortified, so basically everything else is gonna fall over dead since we have a fire mage. That's pretty geared with good corruption, but he can't just run in because he's gonna kill everybody in the group. So we aren't even jumping off yet. He just pulled, so he's alone. I'm sure that he can take some hits being a blood DK, but he's got explosives going off that he's not going to be able to deal with. And I realized that, out of our comp, we have 2 ranged and 1 melee. So I know that most of um my focus is going to be on the explosives because with Cobra Shot, I basically can one-shot them. And sometimes I even use Barb Shot on these depending on how much health is on the ads because the dot isn't going to do that much damage. Okay, I guess what I'm saying is the value of the dot ticking on this for the whole 8 seconds, the damage isn't worth one of these going off and potentially killing, multiple people. So when I barb shot, my pet will come over and stomp and it'll kill it or I can use cobra shot and take it out. So when you're playing BM, you got to assess your comp and you got to understand that with the amount of haste that you have and the amount of damage you can do with one GCD that you should be able to take care of the explosives unless someone can rationally fit it into their rotation as a melee. Someone like a Fury Warrior, someone like a Demon Hunter, where all they have to do is literally hit tab and they can continue their DPS and continue their rotation. But like I said here, he's in way too early. We're starting off low. I don't think that one went off initially. I think it was the ads that do the damage. But you'll see what I'm talking about here. We got Spice going around. Obviously you want to be avoiding these. I'm not paying too well of attention. I actually get pretty tilted here because honestly I thought the key might have been over with because how it worked. But the druid is pretty he's pretty mature about the whole thing. It was his key. He tried to set it back. And somebody's saying that we got to get the explosives when how are we going to be able to get the explosive when we can't even get down there and catch up with him? And like I said, it's a blood DK, so he can stay alive. The druid gets back before me and the fire mage. Right here, I just get caught out in one shot, which kind of sucks. So now I'm leading the death board, but it is what it is. Like I said. What do I do there? Oh my god, that was awesome! I just died instantly. So right here, thank God there's RP, or I probably wouldn't have made it back again. It's a tyrannical week, so we're going to use Lust here to kill No Mercy because our unholy, just the amount of damage that this boss puts out in general. Every other boss in this is a complete joke. Like, this is the only boss you could potentially wipe on just due to accidental deaths of not paying attention. Because something you need to understand in Mythic Keystones is it's kind of that whole sit up attitude, sit up in your chair attitude. So it can be an easy dungeon, and maybe it can even be a hard one. And people are just taking their time, kind of just cruising along, maybe getting carried, maybe not getting carried, maybe getting away, without doing some mechanics. But once you start wiping, then everybody sits up. They're like, all right, let's do this right now. You want to be the person who's already sitting up. You want to be the one who's carrying. You want to be the one who's doing that extra, you're doing 110, 120% effort when somebody else is doing 80, so you can pick up their slack. I know some people don't operate like that, but that's just my recommendation. So right here, I'm just gonna start bursting. I probably should have dotted up the pummeler just for that extra damage, because I'm not running full single target for this. I'm running my AOE build just because it's a Mythic Keystone dungeon. It'll be more
Speak for
value.
who?
I get this. I get hit by this because I'm trying to be greedy.
You're no Lorax.
Staying here to my crystals so I can get extra damage out. So Vent Jets is on me. All I gotta do is walk it out. Let's do it a little late. But I did pop my damage reduction over here, my 20% damage reduction for 6 seconds. So, and the druid picked me up well, so we're good. Take care of this explosive. Back on the boss. I gotta watch myself here again. I ended up getting clipped a little bit, but it wasn't that big of a damage. I popped my coral because my Beach of Wrath came back up, so I can start popping out more damage, get that extra crit. It's a nice little spot to cleave. I pop a multi-shot. Make sure my beast cleave is going off.
I think I'm off.
Somebody handled that explosive pretty well. Wow,
I think I have that many too.
And as soon as No Mercy dies, the boss is over. This is just basically a rare you'd kill for a world quest, and that's it. So with managing your cooldowns, you always want to have, you never want to be using this in a keystone, World Vein, Tier 3 as your main, as a BM hunter. You never want to be using it if you don't have Bestial Wrath up, because you're getting around, you're getting a very solid amount of agility, so you're just going to be losing damage if you're not saving it for that. You don't necessarily need it for Aspect of the Wild. Obviously, the damage increase I think will be a couple percent higher, but in Mythic Keystone Dungeons, you almost want to be using you almost want to be using Aspect of Wild off cooldown, and that's actually something that I'm getting better at in this dungeon. I can't really remember.
Bless you, my son.
I can't really remember how often I was doing it, but with Primal Instincts, an Azurite trait that you want to be using, at least one of, you do get an extra free charge of Barb Shot when you pop it, so that's even more cleave damage. So this is a sketchy part of the dungeon, with all these slimes that are coming up, especially on a bursting week, because they basically have their own built-in bursting mechanic.
Jesus.
But for BM Hunter, I guess, without cooldowns, you want to be doing a very simple rotation where, you have a barb shot, you're using kill command off cooldown,
There we go.
and you're filling with barb shots, or cobra shots to get your kill command off cooldown.
Awful. Yeah. Literally.
So I turned Michael up because nobody can hear him. I think he's gonna do 1 pack of these for the percent. 2 explosive pop. I'm a little late on them. I do have trouble when I'm looking down here at my bars when I should be looking at the ad pack. I think I'm gonna reset my UI eventually, but I pop my exhilaration here in the top right. This is where I keep a lot of my abilities that I don't use that much. Turtle exhilaration.
That is usually you would
Survival of the fittest.
lie about.
So right here, I aspect. That was good. I saved it for this just because we want to be killing this as soon as possible. Just because of how
Jesus, dude, can no one get these?
how
Do I actually have to completely rearrange my playstyle to get these explosives for these clowns?
And that's just me complaining, honestly. Like I don't really need to rearrange my playstyle. I just need to get into the mental of I need to be killing the explosives. Because even if I'm not topping the charts or anything like that, I'm not doing some crazy special damage. Tank's intelligent. He's bringing him to the right spot. I turtle this. Kind of a waste, depending on how you want to view cooldowns. I honestly don't know why I did it. Probably just did it because I had it off cooldown. Because turtle can be it's gonna save your ass on this fight if you need it or not. But it's no big deal. Like I said, this is just a guide, to help people understand what you should be doing in Mythic Keystones, rather than just joining and trying to complete it.
Gonna be cool.
You always going to be trying to one chest or at least maybe potentially 2 chests any dungeon that you're in, just because it's possible. I don't remember if he overpulls here or not. So that's something I didn't even notice. So every single pull, doesn't matter if it's 2, doesn't matter if it's 8. Every single pull, I recommend having the tank set focus depending on the situation, and either having a macro to where you can just hit a button and it'll automatically misdirect the tank, or just having to click and misdirect on your bar. Because all that's doing is helping the tank generate extra aggro. Blood DKs don't have any problem with aggro like prop paladins do, but it just makes it easier on everybody in the dungeon, and it's a less percentage that one of these guys is going to pop off and one hit, this unholy DK or a fury warrior or a rogue or something like that, So I pop Bestial Wrath here even though the boss is coming up, just because of how fast it comes down. So as a BM hunter, you want to be Bestial Wrathing on almost every single pull, because you need to be able to calculate in your head, okay, how long is this going to take me? You should be running, I don't remember what it is off the top of my head. It's the talent where it gives you an extra 20% chance every auto attack. So it goes from 20 to 40 to be able to proc an extra barb shot, because barb shot reduces the cooldown of Bestial Wrath by 12 seconds each time. So I have a feeling that this is a minute 30-second cooldown. So if I get a couple barb shots off, I'll be good for the boss. And I might have actually preemptively done that, thinking that he's gonna pull these, because it's still at 30 seconds. I might get a proc here. I might get another GCD off.
Do you have anything that can one-hit explos?
No.
No.
Heard.
So yeah, in chat,
Oh, fine.
he's talking about rooting this dog so it doesn't path over, so we can kill these. So technically, I would have been around 20 seconds off if we would pull the boss there, but I'm still at 2 chargers anyway. And your opener always wants to be, 2 barb shots with a aspect of the wild to get a third one off, because it increases your agility and it increases the speed that your pets are attacking at. Plus, you're getting all those
Yeah,
stomps out.
second when they spawn.
Or is it crit, not agility? My bad. 12k.
Okay.
And I'm just asking Michael, he plays Resto Druid, I'm just seeing if there's a better way that we can handle this compared to, how this dungeon's going right now. So I don't know if this is a wipe. I'm backpedaling right now, I think I'm just trying to range the explosives, which I think I'm still gonna, no, I didn't get hit by them. So you can range and line explosives depending on where they are. So I'm pretty sure that's what I was doing right there, but is it not bolstering? What is this right here? Is this bolstering?
Ew.
It's gotta be. I used one too many barb shots there because now I'm not going to have 2 for the pull.
4, 3, 2.
But I have the majority in my
1.
cooldowns to the start of this boss. This boss is really simple. Especially for anyone who's ranged, you're not losing that much damage compared to melee depending on where the boxes are dropped. But at the same time, the tank can position the dog to where it's in a good spot as well. So I guess it's kind of equal. I hate the camera in this game, to be honest. Like, just me backing up against that box right there, how bad that screws me up. I don't know. Okay, I did realize it. I just had a cooldown. I was just getting some extra damage in. So I pop Wrath here again because I have it up. I didn't peel my coral off because I only have 2 stacks. So that 300 crit isn't actually kind of worth it. I'd rather save it to where, it potentially builds up to 6 or 7 on my next Wrath. So Leap, I want to get away from this good box because if you break the good box, you wipe basically. Just because when he does his next, I forget what that, Venting Flames, this box is going to break, so you're going to have nowhere to hide behind. Like, this is good positioning by the tank here, because as soon as this is over, the melee can just go back out and kill him. I get that explosive. I don't really know if it mattered or not, but I had the HP to do it. So there, I peeled my coral off. Spread out for the leap. Don't want to stack on top of each other. This guy might get close to me. Yeah, we were good. And for this dungeon, I believe I'm running coral and spyglass are my trinkets here, which are the best that I have. I don't have a good Ajara's font. I don't have a good one of those, so I don't use it. I only have a 431. Plus, I don't really like the way it lines up with my cooldowns. I don't like having to play around every 2 minutes, you know what I'm saying? I'd rather have it more immediate, have my damage on a higher spectrum. But yeah, that fight's just a cakewalk. Tank and spank, basically. It's really difficult to mess that up because almost every class has an immunity. If you do forget what's going on, you can just heal yourself or pop an immunity and you won't die. And for this, I don't know how many people know this, you don't actually have to walk on the conveyor belt. If you walk on the left or the right side,
You
you
said
don't
the
get this.
rings only drop out of workshop, right?
Well, they drop out of one jump set of workshop one jumps.
Oh, heard.
Make sure to always hit that button too, because it stops the fire from going off. I go too far, because I've done this dungeon twice. There we go. And like I said, this damage is accurate a few weeks back. This isn't now damage. Like if that's now damage, like we're talking like 440 characters, alts. That's pitiful. But so for here, we want to be careful with those Giga Wallops that's going on with these Tinkerers right here. You want to try to interrupt and stun them as much as you can. Michael's being really loud. Sorry about him.
And why do you want to die, sir?
I throw a binding down, maybe my tank will notice it. We're not in comms or anything. I don't have any macros to, shout something out. But, if he wants to use it, he can use it. A lot of them are casters anyway, so I was just using it off cooldown. I should have been trapping these earlier, because they literally just run around. Oh, I guess you can't even trap them. I didn't know that. Alright, good to know for future reference. And I don't know why the DPS weren't helping me kill that. Maybe they didn't realize it was alive, but Yeah, it's literally just following me around and beating me. So what I try to do here is like with barb shot's main goal is um to proc stomp, you know? So that's your big AoE other than beast cleave obviously. So you want to be multi-shotting at least once every 4 seconds to keep your beast cleave up right here. And you want your barb shot to be on as many targets as you can because the bleed does a lot of damage. That's what people don't understand. So right there, I wasn't paying attention. You know, I was tunnel visioning this one this 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 mob that we're supposed to focus down so he doesn't shield everybody up. So I was tunnel visioning him when I could have been dotting everything else up to get some extra damage. Kill the explosives.
My shred hits for like 12k.
Ooh, yeah, it is bolstering too.
Like just under 12k.
Based off how easy ads are this week, that might be really good. I'll get it later. And for this, all you gotta do is wash your feet here and you're good. The blue on the ground. I get out up with a disengage. I actually might get hit by one of these now that I think about it. No, I'm good. And I always have my camera positioned up like this, just because of how easy it is to see the ground. But
What?
yeah, I don't know how I got hit by that.
Nothing. I just got hit by something.
And
I
compared to
didn't think I'd
Legion,
get hit
this
by.
is probably the easiest dungeon, keystone dungeon you can do. You know, you gotta worry about probably two bosses.
exactly
I'd say
right.
this one coming up, and the first boss are the ones that are gonna wipe you on a
It's
tyrannical
one of
week.
these days.
But you know, like I said, this is
Buddy.
with the skips
As
that are
you've called
available.
it for 30 years.
Oh shit! So I turtle here just to get through, because all we gotta do is keep running. You know, they don't need to be back there fighting that. There's no point in doing it. It's just gonna keep casting. So you want to bring it up to the front where it can't see you, so it just runs up.
So
You don't
you're
have
in
to
the
be sitting
best
there
shape of your
wasting.
life. You can run up and down a basketball court like it's nothing.
I don't know what we're talking about. I'm not even paying attention.
Once,
But...
maybe.
Oh, I think we're talking about Michael's athleticism.
When will you cease to be overweight?
He's not actually. He's just out of shape.
I stopped
Or he
playing
says
this
he is. I don't think he is. But
game.
Oh, Michael.
When are we hitting rank 1?
We're going what?
Anything? No PvP, PvP's gay. Maybe like top 10 keys or something.
I'm about that action, man.
so we have a lot of time left. We're not gonna three chest this at all, just because of the pace that we're going at and the amount of damage that we're doing. But this is a really above average pug. You know, there's no hard carry going on. Everybody's pulling their weight. Everybody's interrupting. Everybody's stunning. It all comes from the amount of research you do and how much you actually understand what's going on. Because you can have all the gear in the world, you can have the highest item level out of the group, you can have the best progression, but if you don't actually know what's going on, that's where your problem lies. So this is something that I, used to do a lot. I mean, I still play, but when I play basketball, I always try to play around my team. So if I have a bunch of people who are, kind of smaller than me and, they like to shoot, my goal is to play off of them. So I'm going to, help them get open so they can get open shots. I'm going to help them. I'm going to get rebounds for my team so I can give them more opportunities to shoot. I'm not just going to stand up top and, wait for them to pass me the ball so I can shoot. They're already doing that. So if I notice that people aren't killing explosives or people are, not interrupting, whatever it is, you want to put that on yourself so that you fill those empty slots. Because when you're on a sinking ship, you want to fill the holes and not just bail out the water. You know what I'm saying? So, everybody can do damage, but it depends. It comes down to what can you do other than that. That's the big step that people don't understand. You can research your rotation, have great stats, all this, I can go on and on about it, but if you're not doing the mechanics, you're wasting your own time.
4, 3, 2, 1.
So I always try to remind people to hero. A lot of them, not a lot of them, but a lot of classes that actually have it forget to use it, is what I notice. I didn't have my. So we need what? A new computer, or you need a new computer in a raiding guild?
Yeah.
I like that. I didn't have my what's it called?
Ligma.
My essence up, so I'm gonna lose more damage on the burst here. I got hit by one of these. I thought I could take it. Honestly, I probably shouldn't have, based on like I can accidentally get one hit if one of these gears right here had a good spawn and clipped me, and the turret spawned in one of these bushes and started shooting me. I don't know what he's talking about right now. I'm sorry. Like right here, I'm just getting hit. You know, I'm not paying attention. You know, I'm staring at my rotation or something like that. But like I said, you know, I'm really trying to focus on, you know, improving and getting better. So this guy calls boss, which is interesting. I looked to see if there's a turret up, and there wasn't. So I'm guessing he's just saying just focus the boss and get rid of it. But just because this thing is unloading on me, I take care of it just because I don't want to be the one who dies. You know, I have no problem doing the mechanics. But he definitely made the right call. You know, the boss is on 20%. I'm not sure if you can LOS this. Oh, it's actually on the mage, so that's my own fault. But he definitely made the right call there with the amount of boss damage that we have. Like I said, this is 3 weeks ago, so these are pretty good numbers for, you know, little to minimal corruption. You know, my main corruptions were void ritual. I think I have crit boots, the one that stacks to 5 right here after all the abilities you use and stuff like that. So I have really minor stat corruptions. You know, I didn't have infinite stars, twilight devastation, gushing wound, appendage, all that good stuff. But like I said, you know, we just killed all 3 bosses. You know, the percent in this dungeon is something that people is kind of crazy to me. How easy it is to get percent in this dungeon. That initial pack of ads is worth 15%. So you just got almost, you know, you're almost 1/5 done with a dungeon just by killing those ads. They have no special mechanics. All you do is watch out for the swirlies. But I'm telling you, like, compared to Legion, this is Maw of Souls in my opinion. Anything plus a 10 where you have the obelisks to where you can skip certain parts of it, I actually shouldn't be killing that on higher keys based off the amount of damage that these guys put out. The tank and everyone else is actually supposed to stand in there if they can, but it didn't really matter there.
Oh shit, that was a bad disengage.
A little over the top on the disengage.
Get dazed moron.
So I'm out of position here. So I honestly probably could have got punished and died, but I didn't. I got lucky.
What do you mean?
And just to reiterate, for these like the tentacles that spawn with the mind flay, they'll teleport to you as well. So you'll see him come back here. You don't have to immediately kill him, you know. You want to take the boss into a position where he isn't dropping these to block off the path so you can still get by, and where you can kick and stun, you know, use your abilities to get rid of those tentacles. What are you yelling about?
Wars. This fucking shit game.
Michael's complaining, nothing new.
I'm outside.
If you haven't seen it, I got a Michael rant series. It's pretty good, man.
Travel form.
Telling you right now. So I don't know. Yeah, it was the DK. The DK was up there, kind of just killing everything on his own.
Here's
Which, like I
A.
said, it's not fortified, so
Outside.
not difficult.
I have to fucking
I wish I didn't turn him up this video. He's too loud, especially when he's at college. His internet's terrible. And something that I notice a lot of people do is they peel their coral off during trash pulls. There's no point because when you kill it, it's gonna give you the proc, it's gonna give you the crit, and it's not gonna be on cooldown. So if I pull it here, it's gonna be on a 20-second cooldown. Yeah, I have the crit, but I'm gonna get the crit here anyway. So I want to hold on to it so I can reapply it to something else while I have the crit up.
Beware.
And again, just to reiterate, a lot of successful pugs just come from 1 or 2 people having a complete understanding of what's going on. So this tank, he has a perfect route. You know, at when he kills the last trash pack, you're going to be at 100, 101, 102%. You know, you're not killing a bunch of extra stuff. You're not doing ifs, ands, what ifs, all this situation where you're pulling extra stuff just to see how long it'll take. That's what kills time. So if you do minimalistic research before, you know what's going on, and you can pull your weight, you make the difference. Like this tank was the all-star of the key. Even though he messed up at the start, and I honestly got a little upset about it, you know. I'm an emotional person, you know. Sometimes it'll flare up, but You'll get past it. Good cleave damage here from me. We're gonna fly up, do the final bridge, do the final boss. And I think I start talking about it here, how simple this dungeon is. And again, all the BM hunters watching, because I am kind of gearing this towards potentially range DPS, I guess. But it is, just an overall kind of like morale guide. But BM hunters, always want to be making sure that you're misdirecting your tank. That is the biggest thing that people miss out on keys that I notice. I have details, so I can go in here and I can see, how often they're casting this, who's taking damage from what. It's actually a really great add-on if you don't have it. I know a lot of people use recount and stuff like that, but this goes into like serious detail. I guess that's why they call it details. But so my tank used my binding shot here, which was good, so he could stand in that shield. And this is just an 11. This is all falling over dead really easy. But right here, I need to kill these generators. He ended up moving them anyway, but. Damn, my phone is going off. That's in the video too. That's not even right now. Oh, I almost clicked that for some reason. Oh, we have to do the op. That's why I wanted to do that. Damn, man. So right there, I just noticed that I had 2 barb shots and I used 2 of them when I just needed 1, Bestial Wrath, and then barb shot. So something that, a lot of BM hunters don't understand, especially if you're newer to the class, you never, ever, ever, ever want to have this just sitting here not being used. You're just losing damage. This is a 90-second cooldown, and you have an ability that every time you use it, it reduces it by 12. So, I just missed out on 24 seconds of cooldown, and now I'm popping it just now. So it's going to be either late or I'm not going to have it on this next pack, depending how long this takes to kill, like I said, So I just used, that was two abilities on a 90-second cooldown that I just used, and now it's at 57. So, you see what I'm talking about, how fast this goes. And we don't even have to kill this. He actually got the percent. Like I said, we don't have to kill extra stuff. We're good to go. And I'll have it up for the boss fight. And a lot of the mistakes that I make when it comes to this dungeon specifically, just because it's Mechagon, I actually wasn't around for the Mechagon drop. So everybody who was farming Mythic Mechagon and Heroic and stuff like that for all the punch cards and everything, I never got to do that. And I never did, and honestly I didn't want to. Just because of how it honestly looked terrible, in my opinion. But an eight boss dungeon that took hours to complete, and no one knew what was going on. I'm actually very happy that I was not around to suffer through that. But you know you learn from experience. You can do all the research you want, but you actually got to experience it and understand and feel. Some people actually don't have to do that. They're not visual learners and everything like that. But someone like me, I got to understand what's going on, the position and everything like that. So it's good to research so you have an understanding of what's coming, but then you got to apply it to the actual situation itself to put it into practice.
2, 1.
Fire Mage is so good for BM Hunter with that extra crit you get, man. Oh my goodness. And I actually used to be one of the best marksman hunters on my realm back in the day in Legion when I was doing Mythic progression. I had a number 14 world kill on Mythic ANR for damage. I don't remember what the numbers were on Antoran High Command, if you guys remember that. Remember that boss, or if you were around for that raid, but I only played MM. I only played MM. I played old school survival, back when you still had a bow, you know, not a stick. But and I definitely do miss that. Right here, I think I get hit. Yeah, I go really low. Pop my defenses. But I honestly miss it. I wish MM was good. I know it's not terrible, but it is not good. So I was kind of forced to play this. So even though it's been, you know, a good amount of time I've been playing this, you know, like expansion, I initially came back like to play when EP heroic was kind of getting easier. When guilds were starting to get into mythic, that's when I came back. So it hasn't been too long. It's been about probably 3-4 months now. But you know, I've been back on the grind. So we don't have less for this boss, just how fast we're killing it. So for this mechanic here, Gigazap, you don't want to move because all you're going to end up doing is killing someone else because they already have to pay attention to this. So it's easier when something isn't moving to avoid it, right? So, you know, this is not going to move. All these people have to worry about is one mechanic now. They hit S or they hit D, or they hit A or they hit D, and they're out of the way of this, and all they got to worry about is where these little electrodes are going. So, you know, like I said, you know, make it easier on your raid group. You know, this guy knows what he's doing. He's standing still. I think I got hit by that twice. No idea. I'm just hurt. Excuse me. But yeah, this dungeon, you know, there's nothing really too hard about it. You know, get your interrupts down, get your stuns
Workshop
down.
is the new Mob Souls.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I
That's,
know. Being in this group right here, dude.
At the turtle here, I got really low. I don't know if that was the
Yeah,
druid's
these
fault.
guys aren't like nuts
He's
or
only
anything
doing
like
30k
that. Like,
HPS, but
they're just it's just a bunch of average players. I mean, they're not average. They're not bad at all. I'm kind of like lowballing them, but what I'm saying is the group that we run, we can do this easily and better. This tank ran to the start. He had like some engineering boost or something like that, and just killed himself and then everyone else. So it's not like we had like a perfect like we have 6 deaths.
he actually didn't kill himself.
He lived.
But the
Everyone else
skips
died.
in this dungeon are just fucking so easy.
True.
None of that
Very true.
meddling around shit, trying to walk between the bots. None of the. We only do 1 or 2 packs of the blow up ads, the blow up slimes. We skip a huge portion coming up to the the third boss. Just freeload, dude. And that's it. Like for once, I'm not gonna be top and overall. Probably bottom. Yeah, no, second. That was just so easy. My hunter. She got bad 460 legs. Carried. It's 1k under a fire mage. So, I guess to top it all off, out of this is a great example and honestly not the best content for a video just because how easy it was. There wasn't really that much learning. It's kind of more like holding a hand and like taking you through stuff you might already know. But like I said, you know, at the end of the day, bring what you bring to the table and pick up the pieces that everyone else isn't. So I mentioned it earlier. If you're noticing people aren't interrupting, focus more on that because they're focused on doing damage, obviously. You know, if people aren't killing explosives, kill explosives because if they want a tunnel vision to do damage, let them. Because you have the brain power to understand what you need to do to get through the keystone. Because the longer it takes to complete this and the more keystones you don't time and all that stuff, all you're getting is a smaller chance at getting gear. And I know that's why we're all in here, is for that chance on a corrupted piece. You know, how bad the system is already, but still, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I hope this guide helps. You know, there's gonna be a couple more episodes coming out for this. I got some more stuff for World of Warcraft coming out. So stay posted. Appreciate everybody for watching. I'm out.